The Golden State of California is proposing a new bill that, if passed, will impose a 25% tax on real estate investors. So now the state is going after those fix and flippers. Just keeps going. Let's get into it. So the state wants to take over everything. The Golden State wants everything. Going after real estate now. New California bill would tax house flippers, those who sell homes a few years after buying or sooner. So here they come, ladies and gentlemen. The state and federal government keep coming after your wallet and stifling entrepreneurship and creativity. You know, a lot of these people who made money off capitalism now want to stifle you. So if you remember, state bill passed SB 1079, which gives the state of California first right of refusal to purchase foreclosed homes at the trustee sale. So not only is the government of California buying and owning residential real estate, they have the power to take that real estate from the private sector at the trustee sale. What? I'll leave it in the description. You can read it. On the surface, the articles sound all warm and fuzzy, but the government's coming in. So house flippers in this new bill could be taxed 25% of their profit under the California Speculation Act, a bill introduced by Assemblymember Chris Ward. He's out of San Diego. The name of the bill, AB 1771, aims to reduce housing speculation by investors to free up properties for individual home buyers. Sounds warm and fuzzy on the surface, folks. The bill is designed to discourage home flipping, the practice of buying homes and quickly selling them for a profit. You know, that's wonderful. I've been in this game since 2003, on and off. So Mr. Ward said he's trying to prevent speculators from further driving up home prices. So let's look at his bill. Just get into it real quick. You know, bill introduced by Chris, 1771. They want to impose a 25% tax on the profits of homes sold within the first 3 years. So a 25% tax on homes sold within the first 3 years after purchase. The tax would decline, he says, every year after that and expire after 7 years. So after the third year, the rate would drop right now to 20% and decline each year afterwards until it's eliminated after 7 years. Going to get you for taxes if you sell within 7 years. So most California homeowners keep their property, he says, for 10 to 16 years. There is data showing those figures. Ward stated so it would not affect most people, but a lot of people sell their homes before that, Chris. Most people buying a home for personal use. Certain categories of buyers, such as first-time buyers and military homeowners, would be exempt from the taxes. Taxes collected for short-term sales would be distributed, he says, to the cities, schools, affordable housing funds, Section 8. The goal is to create a disincentive for equity investors, freeing up home for people to buy for personal use. He says he may tweak the legislation to avoid penalizing non-flippers who end up having to sell a home within 7 years. Let's say, yeah, you get a new job. We'll talk about that. You just want to sell in 2 years. So Ward said that the bill may be amended to exclude primary residents. He's not sure yet. So people buying homes for their own full-time use would not be taxed. So he says it aims to change the behaviors so that speculators are specifically putting their profits at risk. God, you put the speculators' profits at risk and would decide to invest elsewhere. Yeah, we'll take our money to another state instead of scooping up more and more homes, Chris says. So he says it would leave the door open for traditional homeowners to have their bids accepted. So according to the bill, investors are responsible for more than half of home sales in Southern California, while nationally the figure, I looked this up, is roughly 18 to 19.2%. So it's really trying to create a very specific targeted incentive, the state is saying, and that would in turn level the playing field is their goal, to help those who want to be part of the community long term and get rid of these investors. So the bill would direct the revenue that they're going to get to the community reinvestment. They won't give it to their cronies. It's going to go right back into the community. Won't go into their salaries. Not at all. So under the fund, money would be allocated to multiple projects, including at least 1/3 of county level affordable housing, more Section 8 housing in those rural areas to drive up those crime levels and bring down those housing values, and nearly half for the infrastructure. So those should be, he says, sent back to the local communities because they're also suffering. So he says it's a way to recapture some of this equity that's otherwise going into the bank accounts and make sure that's going back to the local communities, not the bank accounts of entrepreneurs and capitalists. And a lot of these people who are at the top of the food chain made money off capitalism. So real estate experts, and I'll consider myself an expert, we question whether the bill would have much success in lowering prices. They argue that, a housing supply would be much more impactful, increasing the housing supply in construction. So we'll have to see how this all pans out, but I have some line items here why I think this bill is a bad idea. Okay, so number one, the bill may ease pressure on buyers, but it would limit options for sellers. Most institutional investors target mid-price housing, which is what we do. Let's say $1 million or less, rather than luxury homes. So the sellers most impacted would be middle income owners rather than the wealthy, Chris. So, we're not having house flippers go for $20, $30, $40 million homes. So number two, it's effectively an attack on the property rights of sellers, 100%. Number three, I think the bill could inadvertently reduce geographic and economic mobility by restricting people from selling a home because of, let's say, a job change or other economic necessity. This would constrain supply and constrain people's choices about what job they take and where they, locate to. So, concerns there. Number four, lowering fees and reducing regulatory barriers to housing construction absolutely would be more effective at curbing prices. Regulations are killing us in California. Mr. Ward, set us free. Gavin Newsom, set us free. Let's free up all those regulations on small businesses and entrepreneurs. Okay, number five, the real issue is a supply issue, in my opinion. We don't have enough homes for sale. Inventory is low, and anyone thinking of selling their home just won't sell their home. They figure out how to hold onto it. So bottom line, more homes need to be built. More homes need to be built. Number six, this is just another way to stifle entrepreneurship and give the state more money. Seems like California is trying to now take over the real estate sector with the foreclosure bill. Now this bill, on the surface, I see the value in this, but it depends how it's tweaked. But it's just more state control. We don't need that. Speculators provide a lot of jobs when they come in and do a fix and flip and materials and these things. And they're going to take their business outside the state. Some of these speculators, of course, like I do, we just don't flip. We hold for maybe just a year or two. But we got to hold it for 3 years now and 4 years. I think it's a bad idea for this bill to pass. It's just more state control. I'll include in the link the other bill, foreclosure bill. At the trustee sale, they get first right of refusal. The state of California. If you look between the lines, that bill is very concerning. So this bill's on the table right now. I urge you to look at it. I'll include it in the description. But Now we're going to stifle investment in the state of California. And as I said, all the people pushing this now at the federal level, they made their money off capitalism. And now they want to say, you know what, Tim, you can't make your money off capitalism because they want more money for them at the top. Let's free up these small businesses, Mr. Newsom, in the state of California. Let's cut these regulations and all these fees. I remember going into places and fees used to be over 10 years ago, $200-300. Now small businesses got fees over $3,000-4,000 a year. It's ridiculous. That's the problem. There's too much regulation in the state and businesses are leaving. And now real estate investors are going to leave. Real estate brokers are going to leave. Okay? I'm licensed in 3 states now. And, I just don't focus in the state of California. We're doing investments in Chicago, elsewhere. Maybe we'll take all our investments out of here now. So this is getting out of control. So a new bill on the table. Take a look at it. Take care. Have a great rest of your week.